This duo will destroy Spanish football. Lamine Yamal is unstoppable. The kid who plays the most spectacular football on the planet right now.
I mean, Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now. I know he's only 17, and I know this is only the beginning, and I know there's Kylian and Haaland and whoever you want. Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now. There's just no debate. He's just on another.
The boy who makes grown professionals look like Sunday League amateurs. At just 18 years old, he's already the best player in the world. The speed, the skill, the vision, it's a show every single time he touches the ball. But here's the thing, Barca's biggest weapon this season is not just Yamal alone, because beside him runs a machine. A player who is the pure definition of Hansi Flick's football, Fermín López. Fermín never stops running, he's explosive.
Pero que me encanta, por su ardor guerrero, por cómo es. Tiene un espíritu de combate que me gusta, tiene gol. Se llama Fermín. Me gusta Fermín. Encima Flick lo tiene siempre de suplente al chaval. Fermín es un futbolista que podría encajar. Así que bueno, ¿por quién? No. Sé que en el Madrid no hay nadie titular indiscutible. Ahí estaría, jugaría unos días sí, otros días media hora, pero estaría. Y insisto, tiene espíritu de combate, este es de los nuestros. Pero bueno.
He's relentless. He can smash a ball from distance, dribble through traffic, and break lines with a killer pass. He plays with the energy of 100 players and the intelligence to always be in the right place at the right time. Together they're chaos. Together they're the storm LaLiga is not ready for. Yamal will break you down with magic. Fermín will run you into the ground. They feed off each other, one creating, one finishing, both hunting for blood. You can try to mark Yamal, but that just gives Fermín space. You can try to stop Fermín's runs, but Yamal will punish you the very next second. There is no right answer. And when the big games come against Madrid, Atletico, Sevilla, this is the duo that will decide them. This is the duo that will drag Barca to the top.
Here comes Spain.
Mark my words. If they play like this, La Liga is done. Fermín López is the kind of La Masia player who's flipped the script on what we've come to expect from Barcelona's academy. In recent years, we've been spoiled by teenagers like Gavi, Cubarsí and Lamine Yamal, making their debuts before even turning 18. But Fermín, he didn't step onto the first team stage until he was 20. After spending a season on loan at Linares in Spain's third division. For not quite performing at 100% with Barça Athletic, it was a step backwards in his career.
¿Cómo fue la llegada al club?
Muy jodido. La primera imagen fue un poco impactante.
Te sacan de la burbuja y te ponen en la calle.
By Barca standards, that felt almost old. And yet, since that debut, Fermín hasn't done anything but shock the entire Culé fan base. Last season alone, he scored 8 goals and delivered 10 assists. He bagged 2 assists against Bayern Munich.
Who's in? And Lewandowski.
Another 2 assists against Dortmund in the Champions League quarter-finals.
Here's Fermín López. He's got Lewandowski inside.
And just to flex, he managed 4 goals and 3 assists in just 456 minutes in 2025. And let's be real, that wonder goal against Real Madrid in the last Clásico, everyone knows it should have stood.
Still Fermín. Can he get the shot away? He can!
Hansi Flick has made him a staple, and for good reason. His ability to arrive late into the box, combined with a killer instinct for goal, makes him unpredictable and lethal. In fact, he was the second midfielder who has been more involved in the attack at the beginning of 2025 than Fermín López. That's not just form, it's dominance. Fermín is pure chaos, the perfect example. His performance against Sevilla, he came on right after half-time, scored almost instantly.
This is Pedri, unselfish, and Fermín!
And then got sent off 17 minutes later for a rash challenge. Flick has even told him to stop sprinting to corners like his life depends on it. But that's who he is. Every attack seems to find him. Early in 2025, he played 9 of Barca's first 11 matches of the year. The team scored 35 goals in that run, and Fermín had a direct hand in 20% of them. 4 goals, 2 against Valencia in La Liga.
Well, it might be a 4th here, and it is.
1 against Valencia again in the Copa del Rey, and 1 more against Sevilla in the league. 3 assists, 1 against Betis in the Copa and 2 more against Valencia in the league. Since making his debut with the first team, Fermin Lopez has scored 19 goals and provided 11 assists in his first 2 seasons. It might not sound like much on paper, but the reality is that being this influential in the team at his age is insane. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about the way he plays. Fermin Lopez is the definition of a football contradiction. Not a starter, but absolutely essential. He's got Pedri's technical touch, vision, and perfect sense of timing on the ball, combined with Gavi's relentless intensity, both physical and mental. The result is a player who feels like a modern echo of Andrés Iniesta, drifting between the lines, ready to unlock a defense with one sharp move.
Should control a little himself, control his energy.
They will, they have potential about that, but I'm happy with them. I'm happy with the intensity they have, and it could happen today. I think the pitch was wet and he's sliding in the opponent, and normally he don't want to do this, but it happened. So we have to accept it, but at the end it's also for us. I can see that the team improve a lot in this situation, and for me it's great to see that.
He's versatile enough to play wide or central, and his long-range shooting is a weapon in itself, just like Iniesta's.
Nice layoff in it.
But more than the skill set, what makes him the perfect embodiment of Hansi Flick's system is his commitment to pressing high without pause, exploding into space the moment an opportunity appears. He's quick thinking, fast playing, and above all, decisive. In an era where players measure their worth in minutes, Fermin proves that effectiveness is about impact, not time. He's the super sub who can decide finals, the young man who plays with a veteran's composure, the game changer without a captain's armband. Take the Joan Gamper Trophy match against Cesc Fabregas's Como. When Rashford dropped deep to receive the ball in midfield, Fermin instantly attacked the gap left behind as the centre-back followed Rashford. In one swift diagonal run, he received Eric's pass and then slid the ball perfectly into Rashford's path, giving him the space to drive into the box and assist Rafinha. But that wasn't even his highlight of the night. His awareness in pressing led to his first goal, reading the pass, winning it cleanly. Look at how well positioned Fermin is here. He can cover both a pass to his left and to his right. And of course, this is a full team effort, with 5 teammates pressing high, almost on Como's byline.
Sabiduría posicional de Fermín, que dice, espérate, yo me coloco aquí. Si se la pasan a Mauricio, tal. Si se la pasan allí a la mesa, donde está Filio, tal, llego igual. O sea, esto no es casualidad, no es casualidad. Y se beneficia del resto del trabajo de sus compañeros que han ido todos.
When the mistake in the pass happens, Fermin steps in perfectly to intercept the ball and then fires a left-footed rocket straight into the net to open the scoring. Minutes later, he showcased his precision. With 2 defenders closing him down, he opted for placement over power, curling the ball into the top corner with surgical accuracy. It wasn't about blasting it past the keeper, it was about making the save impossible. Fermin is proof that Barcelona's future isn't just about the flashy names. Sometimes it's the intelligent, fearless, and adaptable players. The ones who can hurt you in 5 minutes, who make a team unstoppable. Fermin Lopez is seizing his moment. With Dani Olmo struggling with recurring muscle issues, Fermin has stepped right into the spotlight, using every minute to prove he belongs in Flick's starting 11. Last season, he already forced his way into becoming indispensable, combining relentless energy with fearless aggression between the lines. Now, after a pre-season where he's made life incredibly difficult for Flick, he's in prime position to start against Mallorca in Barca's LaLiga opener next Saturday. Fermin is cut from the same cloth as Dani Olmo, sharp, creative, and tactically versatile, but with one crucial difference: he's not dealing with injuries. And when it comes to finding the net, he might even be more clinical, but his impact hasn't been limited to Barcelona's colours. In the 2024 Olympics, wearing the Spanish shirt, he lit up the tournament with 6 goals and 2 assists. In the final against France, a team boasting Michael Olise, Désiré Doué, and Ryan Cherki, Fermin didn't just show up, he owned the stage.
Well, that's a nice ball through.
Scoring twice and dictating the tempo as if it were his personal arena.
Miranda puts it into the danger area. Brilliant save from Rest.
That's why he's already on the radar of Europe's elite clubs. And still, the challenge he faces inside Barcelona is brutal, competing with Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo, Marc Bernal, Marc Casado, and Frenkie de Jong for a midfield spot. Yet one thing is clear: when it comes to linking up with Lamine Yamal, few players click as naturally as Fermin Lopez. Together, they're not just a promising duo, they're a nightmare for any defence in Spain or Europe. They bring chaos, precision, and unpredictability, turning every attack into a question the opposition can't answer. Lamine Yamal is not just another La Masia graduate. He's the living proof that Barcelona can still produce players who redefine what's possible. In him, you get the silk of Neymar and the genius of Messi fused into one teenager. And when you pair him with Fermin Lopez, you get something terrifying, the perfect symbiosis. Lamine shreds the right flank with pace, flair, and vision, while Fermin exploits the chaos he leaves behind, timing his runs into the half spaces that defenders can't cover. Together, they don't just break defensive lines, they dismantle them. Right now, Lamine Yamal isn't simply Barcelona's best player. He might be the best player in the world. That's not hype, it's backed by the sheer volume of milestones he's hit before even turning 18. Still, there are critics. Some argue Ousmane Dembélé, now at PSG, should be the one lifting the next Ballon d'Or.
Quite frankly, you might be right, he might be the best player on the planet, but the award is about that particular time, a 12-month period.
Right.
And over that 12-month period,
where's he going?
Dembele's been the best.
Yes, but Lamine Yamal hasn't really... This is kind of his first full season. This is the 12-month period we're judging him on, and you just said that he's the best player in the world.
No, I said you couldn't argue that he may be the best player in the world.
Right.
But this is not about the best player on the planet. This is about a period of 12 months.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why Dembele deserves it, along with the story of how bad he was and how many managers we must have driven mental.
But that's noise. The numbers tell a different story. First, let's remember why Lamine is the best player in the world. Lamine Yamal has shattered records in just 2 seasons. He debuted for Barcelona's first team on April 29th, 2023, at 15 years and 290 days. Soon after, he became the youngest starter in La Liga. At 16 years and 38 days, he was the youngest league starter of the 21st century. A week later, at 16 years and 45 days, he logged an assist to become the youngest provider of the century. He also became Spain's youngest debutant and youngest scorer with the national team. At 16 years and 68 days, he made his Champions League debut for Barça against Antwerp at Montjuic, becoming the club's youngest UCL debutant, surpassing Ansu Fati. By 16 years and 83 days, he was the youngest Champions League starter. He is La Liga's youngest goal scorer. He is also the youngest player ever to appear in El Clásico, breaking a Barça record that stood since Vicente Martinez. Yamal did it at 16 years and 107 days. The older mark was 16 years and 280 days. At 16 years and 153 days, he became the youngest player to record an assist in the Champions League, slipping a perfect through ball to Ferran Torres at Antwerp to beat Bojan Krkic's mark. At 16 years and 182 days, he became both the youngest Supercopa de España debutant and the youngest Supercopa scorer. In the Copa del Rey, he scored at San Mamés on January 24, 2024, at 16 years and 195 days, making him the youngest scorer in the competition. He later became the youngest player to record a La Liga brace, and he finished the 2023-24 league season with 5 goals, the most by any under-17 player in La Liga history. He was the youngest footballer to start a Champions League knockout tie versus Napoli at 16 years and 223 days, and alongside Pau Cubarsí, one of the first underage starters in UCL history. He became the youngest to appear in a UCL quarter-final versus PSG, the youngest to reach 10 UCL matches, and the youngest Barca player to hit 50 first-team appearances. At Euro 2024, he was the youngest debutant in tournament history, 16 years, 339 days, the youngest assister, the youngest to play a knockout match, and the youngest goal scorer ever at the Euros with a stunning strike versus France just days before turning 17. He was also the youngest to play a Euro final and the youngest to lift a senior international trophy with his country. At 17 years and 1 day, he celebrated the title, eclipsing Pelé's famed benchmark. World Cup at 17 years, 249 days. Spectacular barely covers it. That's everything he did by the end of 2023-24, before we even get into why he deserves the Ballon d'Or. Lamine Yamal's last season wasn't just great, it was historic. He scored 18 goals and 25 assists in all competitions at 17 years. He blew past expectations and became one of Barcelona's most decisive weapons. He opened La Liga with 4 goals and 6 assists in just his first 10 matches, already playing like a veteran. Then came El Clásico, where he became the youngest scorer in the rivalry's history. But it didn't stop there. He had an impact in every single Clásico of the year, either scoring or assisting. In the Spanish Supercopa final against Real Madrid, he scored a stunning goal to level the match 1-1. In the Copa del Rey final, he set up Pedri for 1 goal. And Ferran Torres for another. Leading to Jules Kounde's title-winning strike. And in the final Clásico of the season, he produced yet another screamer. His influence was key to Barca achieving something they'd never done before, winning 4 Clásicos in one season, with Lamine as a central figure in every victory. On the European stage, he became the youngest player to score and assist in a Champions League match after his performance against Benfica. He also became the first under-18 player to reach 20 European appearances. In the 2024/25 quarter-final first leg against Borussia Dortmund, he set another milestone, his 20th European match before turning 18. Then in Champions League semi-final first leg against Inter Milan, Yamal hit his 100th official match for Barca at just 17 years, and 291 days, nobody had reached that milestone so young. He celebrated it the only way he knows how, with a goal. Which made him the youngest scorer in a Champions League semi-final. Barcelona finished the season by winning the domestic treble, the Copa del Rey, where Lamine scored 2 goals and provided 6 assists, the Spanish Super Cup, where he netted twice, and LaLiga, where he bagged 9 goals and 15 assists. In Europe, he added 5 goals and 4 assists. Lamine was absolutely decisive in securing all 3 titles in Hansi Flick's first year in charge. That's why he's Barcelona's best player, because he proved his lethality against the biggest teams. He humiliated Real Madrid 4 times, was pivotal against Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey semi-final, and we can't forget the screamer he scored against Espanyol to seal the league title. He was decisive against Bayern Munich, Dortmund and Benfica, and he tore Inter Milan apart, leaving them on the brink of missing out on the final against PSG.
Potevamo anche vincerla contro una squadra che ha un giocatore difficile da marcare, perché il primo tempo secondo me abbiamo impattato molto bene il match e poi gli ultimi 25 minuti ci ha creato tanti problemi. Yamal, che chiaramente è un talento che nascono ogni 50 anni, dei talenti così non l'avevo mai visto dal vero, l'ho visto stasera per la prima volta e ci ha creato problemi, l'abbiamo raddoppiato, triplicato, poi ci mancavano giocatori da altre parti del campo, poi il secondo tempo abbiamo aggiustato qualcosa e abbiamo tenuto il campo benissimo e chiaramente potevamo anche vincerla, però andiamo avanti.
And honestly, we would have had a far more interesting final between Barca and PSG. With Spain, he became the youngest ever to score a brace for the national team when he netted twice against France in the Nations League semi-final at 17 years and 327 days. By that age, he'd already lifted more trophies than Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo at the same point in their careers.
It's amazing. There's a guy that soon, in 2 maybe to 3 years, that we're going to talk about, that's not already on the scene, but it's crazy to think that a guy is 17 years old. Like, 17 years old, like I made my debut, I think. It's just crazy what he's doing. Like, I mean, it's just not normal. But look, it's great to see that there's a new guy coming, a new guy on the block that looks like that he might be dominating football, and I wish that for him. Let's not put him under pressure and already say that he should have the throne or whatever. It's just so amazing to watch.
Now he's in a head-to-head battle with Ousmane Dembélé for the Ballon d'Or.
You're talking about a player who gets you out of your seat.
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal is your man. I mean, he's been phenomenal, hasn't he? And we all love watching him. But I agree with what Stevie says. We're talking about the Ballon d'Or for this year. And in this year, I think it's Dembele's award, and he will deserve it. And I think he will win it.
Right now, Lamine is operating on a level that feels almost unfair. Just look at his pre-season tour, sharper touches, more muscle in his duels, and somehow even faster bursts down the wing. Sure, maybe this season he fell just short of the Ballon d'Or, perhaps needing a few more game-defining moments in the biggest matches. But let's not forget, he's only 18. He's not just a candidate to win it all in the near future. He's the front-runner for an entire era. And here's where it gets dangerous for everyone else. Look at the talent around him.
It as well, but you know something about Lamine Yamal, he could be like Messi. He could win 7 or 8 of these things before he's through.
That's why Fermin Lopez is so vital. In Hansi Flick's high-tempo, goal-hungry system, these two aren't just complementary, they're devastating. Fermin is exploding into his prime, and we've only scratched the surface of what he can do. He's still just 22, and history tells us that elite midfielders like Iniesta hit their absolute peak closer to 24. Firmino isn't there yet, but the trajectory is clear. He's getting better, faster, and more decisive with every match. Then you pair him with Lamine, already the face of Barcelona, already wearing Messi's number 10, and already the most feared attacker in the game. Fermin brings the lethal runs from deep, the surgical finishing, and the engine that never stops. Lamine brings the magic, breaking lines, shredding defenders, bending matches to his will. Together they can shred LaLiga, crush defences across Europe, and very realistically drive Barca to a Champions League title, and maybe even the treble. This isn't just a duo, it's a nightmare for every opponent on the planet.